I've been on, and I tell this story in my book, I've been on this quest against mediocrity since I was in first grade. And it's kind of a funny story because I was in first grade and I had this blonde bowl cut actually. And so I was really, really rocking it at the time. And what's also funny is I couldn't see. So I have really bad vision. And so this was back in the day of chalkboards because I'm old. And so I would just go up to the chalkboard. I would memorize everything on the board. Then I would go sit down because I couldn't see across the room. I just figured everybody did that because I was in my little world of blindness. But anyway, so maybe that helped me, but just because I remember everything now and I was forced to because I couldn't see anything. But anyway, so in first grade, I was, crushing it on all my spelling tests and getting all my assignments done and all the things. And so they had this thing called Breakfast of Champions. And if you were apparently a good student, then you got to wake up even earlier than normal and have a cinnamon roll and some chocolate milk and your picture taken with the principal. And this was, I thought, the pinnacle. This meant that, yes, I am doing what I'm supposed to do in first grade here at Meridian Elementary. And so the first month of school goes by and I get this Breakfast of Champions award, and there's this little certificate and it goes up on the fridge at home. And I'm like, yep, I've truly arrived at the pinnacle of elementary academia here. So, I'm feeling pretty good about that. And then, the next month goes by and there's a couple other kids in my class and, they get the Breakfast of Champions award. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. They're at least literate and not completely disruptive. So that kind of made sense. And then the school year goes by and everyone is getting a Breakfast of Champions award. And then the final straw was this kid who was just a disaster. He was always in the principal's office. The only thing I ever saw him do was just eat his own boogers. It was a weird kid. And he was not a good student or a good example. And he got the Breakfast of Champions award. And I was like, that's it. So I went home, I ripped off the Breakfast Champions award from the fridge, threw it in the trash and said, okay, this means nothing. And so that was actually in first grade. I recognized, a lot of these awards are just silly. And even nowadays, I mean, people will go and whoever gets any award, and even in academic circles, I mean, it's usually a quid pro quo. You got it last year, I'll give it to you this year. We published on a paper together, and it's more comfortable just to rub shoulders with people who always agree with you and drink your Kool-Aid, probably for disingenuous reasons. And so I observe all these things. I think it's obnoxious. And so I think that it fosters a culture of groupthink and a culture of mediocrity. That said, I would hope that the landscape is shifting because of genuine people, because of people who truly care about shifting the paradigm from reactionary to preventive, for us to understand a little bit more about the home security system and the lipid neighborhood. And I'm encouraged. And even if it's not changing on a broad level, I know it can change at the individual level. And no matter if you're in a system that's mediocre, if you're in a healthcare system that's oppressive, if you're in any whatever system, you can be a transcendent paragon of excellence no matter where you're at. And that's on you. You don't have to just continue just checking off boxes and doing the bare minimum. It's awesome to actually see how well you can understand this and how you can have expertise in the subject and do the best you can, because people's lives are at stake. And if you're a clinician and if you're in the position to help somebody with their lives, there's some things I think you should know. And that's why I write books about this stuff. And, I can't work with somebody who doesn't care, and I can't work with people who won't listen. But if you're willing to listen and you care, hey, let's go have some fun together. And I can learn from you, you can learn from me, and then people's lives are going to be better because of it. And so one of the things that is difficult is there's a lot to lipids. And what we're taught in medical programs, even fantastic medical programs, is LDL bad, HDL good, everybody take a statin. And there's a lot more to it than that. And so I think that hopefully with books that I write and other people who are really good lipid educators, that we can actually help flesh out some of the didactic programs for medical students, for PAs, for NPs, for anybody who is in this and in the position to help people with their cardiovascular health. And then we can hopefully elevate the level of the education being purveyed, because that's going to help a ton as we go forward.
Good.